Welcome back to the VMI Leader Journey podcast, brought to you by the Center for Leadership and Ethics. I'm your host, Lieutenant Colonel Catherine Roy, Communications and Marketing Manager for the Center for Leadership and Ethics. Today, we sit down with Heaton Lawrence, VMI Class of 2026, Corps Chief of Staff, CSAB Vice President, and English major, just days before he walks across the graduation stage. Unable to commission, Lawrence has set his sight on teaching English at a boarding school, and then in the future becoming headmaster one day of his own boarding school. His 4 years here have been a masterclass in peer leadership, and he'll tell you that rank and titles never did the heavy lifting. Leadership is something he had to earn every single day, and at VMI that means you're always on parade, whether you have rank or not. If you've ever wondered what it really looks like to lead the people beside you, this one's for you. I am sitting here today with Cadet Heaton Lawrence, class of 2026. We're right about at graduation. Things are wrapping up. And Cadet Lawrence is a member of our CSAB group, the Cadet Superintendent's Advisory Board. So we're going to talk to him about just his profile and his leadership journey here at VMI to share it with all of our audience members. So welcome, Cadet Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. Excited for this.
Thank you for your time coming here today. Just give the audience a background as to, who you are, what you do here at VMI, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you came to VMI.
Yes, ma'am. So, for those of you listening, I'm glad to join you on here. My name is Heaton Lawrence. I'm a first classman or senior here at VMI. I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I'm an English major, history minor. Overall, I have loved my experience here at VMI. It's been honestly the best 4 years of my life so far. I've met the most amazing people, made some amazing bonds with friends, faculty, staff, everyone in between. On campus, I'm involved in a lot of different things. I'm the Chief of Staff and Third Command within the Corps. Like Colonel Roy said, I'm in the Cadet Superintendent Advisory Board. And then I used to be a part of the Club Golf and Club Jiu-Jitsu teams. However, with my involvement in the other aspects of the campus life, I've just had to kind of scale that back a little bit. But I definitely remember those days. Overall, just happy to be here. Thank you for having me again.
So I imagine with the schedule that you had, part of the decision to back off some things were you having some academic impact on that too, or time management issues?
I'd say it was just the time management part. I mean, my grades have always hovered around a 3.6, 3.7 GPA.
Oh, excellent.
So I've been able to maintain very high grades. That's, what my family likes. Just keep them happy.
Keep mom and dad happy.
Exactly right. And I definitely loved my time on Club Golf, Club Jiu-Jitsu, but I just wanted to invest my time here more in the the leadership aspect. Really, I mean that's why I came to VMI to really just dive deep into the leadership lab that they offer. So, and that's why I decided to focus on.
And so, when did you join the CSAB group?
I joined at the end of my third class year, beginning second class year.
Oh, okay.
So to translate into normal people terms, it's end of my sophomore year, beginning of my junior year.
And were you invited or recommended to come, or did you just say, "Hey, I'd like to do this"?
One of my friends just suggested I try out, quote unquote, do the join up interview. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I gave it a shot, and they didn't hate me, so they let me on the group, and it's been a good 2 years.
And are you an officer with the club?
Yes, ma'am. This year I'm the vice president.
Okay. All right. And what does that role involve?
Mostly it just involves, I'd say, advising the secretary, and also just being with the president at all times and making sure that the president, Noelle Tong, good friend of mine, making sure that she has my opinion, whatever she has a decision to make, and then whatever decision she makes, I have to be willing to follow that decision, whether or not I agree with it or not. So that's definitely been a learning experience for me. It's been a lot of fun, and overall I just love working with Noelle. She's a good friend of mine, so works out very well. And
do you guys have to abide by Robert's Rules of Order, board things, call the meeting to order, that kind of, is it that kind of formality?
It can be. I mean, really, it's all up to us. And I'd say this year we've gone very much so with the standpoint of, hey, we want to have a certain formality to it, but at the same time, we want to make sure everybody feels like they can speak up when they want to, and that, that you don't have to raise your hand just to speak, hey, we're all talking about an idea, we're all talking about what we want to do with the next year, so we really want you to feel like you can speak what's on your mind and not like you have to kind of censor yourself. So overall, I'd say we have a very informal approach to meetings, but at the same time, that gives us the ability to get a lot of stuff done in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it sounds like just light governance, but there's order. And the other thing that struck me is, once the president makes the decision, you march out.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Which is good, because once everybody's reached a consensus, we don't want to circle the drain on certain things. So can you talk about the projects that you've worked on since you've been a member of the club?
Yes, ma'am, for sure. I'd say the biggest thing we've done this past year is that we're trying to organize like a motivation run through town. That's been something that me and Noel worked pretty hard on. And then one thing that a second class or junior member has worked pretty hard on this year, I want to shout him out, Sri John Bose, class of 27, another good friend of mine. He's worked very hard on a statues presentation and an arch presentation in terms of, hey, what are we going to name certain things if we erect a new statue around post, or if we want to rename some arches or some buildings. And he's done a phenomenal job on that. So I just want to give Sri John, a good friend of mine, a good shout out for that. So.
And can you talk about what's the rationale behind that, or is that his project and
That
we could have him on the show?
Exactly. Yeah, he should be your next guest, actually. He's
Okay.
a great guy, so highly recommend.
Okay.
But I'll let him speak on that.
And then you've been involved with, what was it that you said? The project that you've worked on the past year? The motivation run.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. That essentially that involves.
And is that for the thirds?
It would be for the entire Corps.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. So the entire Corps, one day, ideally Founders Day of next year, would go out into town, hit about a mile and a half, 2 mile run around town, just as a way to show appreciation for the people of Lexington, that they really accept us with open arms in all facets of life. And then we also wanted to have like a donation aspect to it, where we do some sort of like a food drive or a school supplies drive, where members of the Corps would get some stuff, and then we donate to a local charity, again, just to help out the people of Lexington and show that unique partnership that we, VMI, have with the city of Lexington, because it's such like a close, unique connection that we really just want to overall be good stewards of.
Yeah. And do you have any nonprofits in mind that you think would be worthy causes? Because I could pitch one.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I know VMI and me specifically have worked with RARA in the past, Rockbridge Area Relief Association.
Yeah. And that would be for food and
Yes,
stuff like
ma'am.
that?
That would be like the canned food drive.
Yeah, there is a lot of food insecurity around here.
Yes, ma'am. So I'd say that if I had the choice, that would be mine. But that's for the next year's CSAB leaders to decide. So I will leave that up to them.
And then, so we're on a Wednesday. So tonight, you guys are going to vote for your officers for the next year. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. And then next Wednesday will be your last meeting of the year, and then you'll be off to greener pastures, maybe. So, what are your plans after graduation?
Yes, I'm teaching at a boarding school next year.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Where?
ma'am. Randolph-Macon Academy. So I'll be an 11th
Oh,
grade
very cool.
AP English and American Lit teacher. That's been something I've always really wanted to do.
Okay.
Eventually, I want to be the headmaster of my own boarding school one day. So that's the end goal. But for now, I got to start off on the lower end of the totem pole and work my way up. So.
Well, there you go. Well, headmaster at a boarding school, you could probably then come and superintendent here at VMI.
I don't know about that one.
They seem to prefer those who have commissioned, but
yes, ma'am. I would love to be a very, very good alumni of the school. I don't know if I'd want to work.
It could be a feeder system. You send your graduates over to VMI, right?
Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
So you're going to be teaching. Have you done any student teaching so far?
I have done some student teaching. This past summer, I interned.
So you're going to be thrown in the deep end of the pool?
A little bit. I'm ready for it,
How old will your students be?
They will be 11th graders, so about 16 or 17 years old.
Ooh, brutal.
Yes, ma'am. No, I'm excited, though. My older cousin, who I consider to be a sister, she's a teacher.
Okay.
I work with her very closely. Just for everyday stuff.
And is it co-ed?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Is it faith-based as well, or just?
It is Baptist.
Okay. Okay.
Or Methodist, sorry.
Methodist. Okay. Very good. All right. So going to teach, working your way up to headmaster. That sounds very good. Tell us about how, why you chose to come to VMI. I know other agencies around Post have those conversations, but it is part of your leader journey, selecting where you're going to go and what you're going to do.
Of course, yeah. So I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, and as many of you people know, Richmond is like the VMI alumni capital of the world.
Yes.
And I just knew a bunch of VMI alumni growing up. They were all super successful, overall great people, and the common denominator between all of them was that they went to VMI. They had this 4-year unique education And overall, just great experience. I often say VMI is an experience, not an education, just because I think
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
it's mostly about the experience, the bonds, and just the overall daily life that you have to experience to get that degree. But again, the common denominator between all the people I looked up to growing up was they all had that VMI experience, and I looked up to them. I wanted to be like them, and I chose to come to VMI, and here we are. I'm about to graduate in, I think, 17, 18 days. So,
And it's interesting because it is a military school and a military environment, and it does provide you. I think one of the strong points that we have is that as an undergraduate, you have all this variety of leadership opportunities without you having to have an internship or a job. You can actually, if you need to, when I was in college, I had to earn money. I couldn't be somebody's, assistant for nothing. And so the ability to add peer leadership, I think, on your resume is, I think, of a competitive advantage. And you're encouraged to commission, but you don't have to, which I think is another unique aspect. But you get all the benefits of what the system produces, certainly time management being one of them. But that peer leadership, I think, is just a big gold star on somebody's resume. Would you agree with that? Do you feel like, compared to your peers, if you can assess that you have maybe some advantage in terms of leadership there?
absolutely. I would definitely say I have a huge advantage in terms of peer leadership. Like I said before, this year I serve as the chief of staff within barracks and third in command, and it's been an incredible experience. It's one that has taught me that the rank never really comes off. I can be in class and somebody asks me a question about something that's going on in 5 hours and 5 days and 5 weeks, and if I don't know it, then I look like a fool. It's been a very big adjustment to kind of always be that person that people turn towards when they have questions and they want to answer. So, and overall, just always kind of being on parade. And being on parade, as a VMI saying, means that at all times you have to look the part, you have to speak the part, and you have to be the part. And you have to earn your stripes every single day. You don't just earn it, one day a year ago. You earn it every day from here on out. And just getting adjusted to that lifestyle of being in the spotlight and making sure that you project to everybody that, hey, I'm good at my job. I'm confident that I am, but this is why. And then you earn your stripes every day. It's been an incredible experience and one that I really would not trade for the world.
Well, you illustrate a great point because there's your regular cadetship, and you don't have to put these extra burdens on yourself. But the fact that you chose up to actually take on a quote unquote job, as you describe it, and then you need to be knowledgeable about that job because everybody knows who you are, they know the role you play, and so you're a resource to them. And they come to you and you've got to know your stuff. That's why I say also that not only do you need to be squared away in the three-legged stool, your military duties, your academics, physically fit, the honor system, but then you're adding on to it. Now I'm going to be mentoring, guiding, and being influential to make decisions at a particular level. What are some of the duties of a chief of staff?
So this year, I have had the amazing opportunity to kind of make the position what I want it to be. So I am the third chief of staff in history. So this is a very new position. Oh. And this year I was really given the freedom to kind of not do whatever I want, but at the same time make the position my own. And if I see something that I think that the chief of staff should be involved in, then I have free reign to kind of involve myself as I see fit. And that doesn't just mean I can go in and tell people, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how I want to do it. No questions asked. It's very much so a collaboration process and learning your left and right limits that your boss gives you, that, the left and right limits that you form with your peers. And there's also forming relationships with your peers, with the people under you, who oftentimes your friends because it's a college, right?
Yeah,
so that's a big, difficult challenge.
Well, again, the peer leadership, if they're at least your same age or pretty close to it, if not your buddies, because it is a tight-knit class system of brother rats. Exactly,
and everybody knows each other too, so it's that weird dynamic between, hey, this is what I can do, this is what I should do, this is what we're actually going to do, and it's been an amazing experience kind of, picking what I get involved in, what I don't get involved in for XYZ reason. Overall, I'd say my position is mostly the workhorse paperwork admin side of the highest levels of the course. So I work day in, day out with the regimental commander and the regimental executive officer, and the three of us work as one team. And it really helps that they're two of my best friends and I get to work day in and day out with them. Again, I do most of the paperwork things and the synchronization efforts. So
determining what your duties are, because you said you kind of have a little bit of free reign to kind of write your own script. Is that a negotiation that you engage in with the upline management, if you will, of your battalion, or is that with the commandant staff, or both, or who else?
It would honestly just be anybody. I mean, it depends on what the task is. So if we're writing permits and we're trying to get privileges for the Corps, that point, I'm going to consult with the RCO and the RXO, be like, hey, this is the situation. This is what I want to do. What do you guys think? And then we're all three of us going to come to a consensus. Or if the three of us have very differing ideas, we'll default to the RCO because he's the number one guy. He's the guy in charge.
And that's the regimental commander.
Yes, ma'am.
And our XO is a regimental
executive officer, so number 2.
Okay.
And so at that point, I go forth and carry out the RCO's orders, the regimental commander's orders. If it's for maybe a standardization process where we have 3 battalions and they're all doing different things, at that point, that's when I get all 3 battalion commanders. I'm like, hey, we got to do this all the same. How are we going to do it? And at that point, it's very much so a teamwork effort, not just one person takes charge and says how we're going to do it. The 4 of us are going to sit down and be like, hey, these are the pros, these are the cons, and then what are we going to do and, set forward as what are we going to do now.
Some of the aspects of leadership that I've experienced is really working with various personalities.
Absolutely.
And so really at the end of the day, especially when it comes to any subordinates or anybody who's going to be reporting to you, it's personality wrangling, a lot of it. How would you took Lead 344, that's a mandatory leadership and organizations course, theoretical study of about 13 different theories of leadership. Did you have an opportunity in that class to identify what kind of leader are you? Did you create a profile of anything, or what style of leadership would you say fits you best?
I definitely took the class, and it was a great class. I honestly will default to the more practical experiences that I've had here at VMI. I remember one thing, especially with dealing with different personalities, that Colonel Gray taught me. And Colonel Gray is the executive director of the Center for Leadership and Ethics here at VMI. And I've had him in class. I've studied abroad with him as the faculty advisor. Overall, I'm super close with
what
him.
trip did you go on?
I went on the Poland and France trip, the ISAB trip.
Okay, yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm really close with Colonel Gray, and I've talked to him a lot about, hey, like, I have this problem, what would you do, stuff like that. And one thing he's taught me about peer leadership, and especially, interacting and leading with multiple people with multiple different personalities, is that you all have to find common ground and, become friends, so to speak. And at VMI, we're all friends, we're all brother-ats, right? You mentioned that before, but there's a difference between being friends and being friendly with somebody in a professional environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I've done this year with my staff captains, so as the chief of staff, I also directly oversee 9 staff captains and then their respective 15 to 20 cadet-led staff. And one thing I've really done with my staff captains is really try and unite us and make us, we're friends, obviously, in barracks, but at the same time.
You might call that being collegial.
Exactly.
And professional with one another. There's a respect there.
Exactly. But I really want to make sure that we all work together well. And in my opinion, the way that I get them to all work together well is that we hang out outside of doing work-related activities. And one thing that we've done this year that I'm really proud of is we go to, like, once a week, Thursday night, there's this restaurant in town called Devil's Backbone, and we all go to trivia night. I'm so serious.
It's trivia night.
Trivia night. And we get dinner, we talk about VMI, we talk about non-VMI stuff. We ask...
Get to know each other.
Exactly. Get to know each other on a much more personal level than just, hey, what are we doing Tuesday during the meeting? So getting to know them on a personal level. And then we also had that added benefit of the competition of trivia night.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It sounds trivial, but it's a lot of fun. And if you can kind of get people to, gang together for one purpose, in defeating the other teams and making sure all the other teams.
Because VMI is not competitive at all, right?
VMI is not competitive. I'm being sarcastic.
You're
VMI
right.
is super competitive.
Yes.
And I would definitely say that for my staff captains as well. But just overall having that one united purpose of winning trivia night and trying to get that number one spot.
So have you won trivia night?
Not yet. The best we've done is third. We're really close.
You should have me on your team. So I'm pretty good at trivia.
We might have to invite you out.
There you go.
But again, just having that one united purpose, it really has grown us a lot closer as a staff. I'm really proud of it. And I'm proud to say that they're some of my favorite people to hang out with on a professional and on a personal basis.
Well, Colonel Gray's a big advocate of breaking bread.
Absolutely.
This year has been unbelievably busy for especially his schedule. But we usually try to get together once a month and have some kind of a potluck. We certainly do it for the big occasion. So Thanksgiving, winter furlough, the break. We haven't done one in this spring, but we tried to schedule something and then we had to cancel. But we'll do one this summer. We do an annual after action review of how our programs went. What do we want to keep doing? What do we want to maybe stop doing? And what can we do better? Some brainstorming. So that's a nice thing. So for CSAB, did you guys do some kind of an AAR, or will that be in your final meeting? What went well? What maybe you'd want to change?
I'd say that'll probably be next meeting with the rising leaders leading that discussion.
So tonight?
Well, we let the rising leaders tonight. So we're going to let them either do it at the end of tonight or next week, depending on what they want to do.
Okay. And you guys break bread for the beginning of your meeting.
Exactly.
It's one of the... So we talked a little bit about, your influence for coming here was people that you met and knew in Richmond, what you've done, your current role now, some future plans. Can you talk to, if a prospective student were listening to this episode or a first year, the fourths, what advice would you give them about having a successful VMI journey?
That's a good one. I'd say two main pieces of advice. For incoming rats, I'd say scream loud, move fast, and be respectful.
Okay. I would not have thought of those, but okay.
Seriously. Like, first impressions do matter.
Okay.
If you kind of sandbag it as a rat, that...
No, what is sandbagging?
Oh, sorry. By sandbagging, I mean, giving low effort and not giving your all.
The bare minimum.
Exactly. Phoning it to the point where you can get by, but not exceeding that, standard. First impressions do matter. Scream loud, move fast, be respectful. If you can just do those three things and, overall just be nice to your peers, you're going to be respected, you're going to be liked. Mm-hmm. And I'd say the second thing is just take every opportunity that comes your way. Whether you get it or not, the experience of applying for or, trying to
put yourself
do
out there.
Exactly. Just putting yourself out there. Mm-hmm. That'll be so much more beneficial than saying, oh, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm scared. I'm not going to get the position. Oh, I'm scared people are going to make fun of me for wanting to be XYZ position, right? So that'll be my biggest piece of advice for current force or maybe even current thirds. Just go for whatever.
Yeah, I like to say it as a parent. I like to say to my kids, let somebody turn you down.
Exactly.
If you put yourself out there and you make an effort, give it your best effort, and then, don't self-select, say, yes, I'd like to do that and go for it. And then let them turn you down. And then, okay, that's not for me and try something else.
Exactly. If you genuinely don't like something and don't want to do it, then don't do it. But if you're remotely interested, put yourself out there. You never know. It might be your thing in 2 or 3 years. It might be the thing that you really want to do the rest of your life. So
yeah,
just put yourself out there.
Now, did you have an experience like that? Did you come to VMI knowing I want to be an English teacher or a headmaster, or did that develop as you?
That's a good question. Honestly, I came in wanting to commission, and eventually I found out that I wasn't able to just due to medical reasons. And at that point, I had a decision to make if I really wanted to pursue something in the government field or if I wanted to do something...
Letter agency, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or if I wanted to do something on the more civilian corporate side. And I knew I didn't really want a desk job per se. And my mother works at a independent school accreditation institute, a nonprofit organization. And my older cousin, who I really consider to be my sister, is a middle school teacher as well. So I feel like just being a teacher kind of fell into my lap at that point. And I'm super excited to start in the fall and really excited to see where that career choice takes me in graduate school, different states, countries, whatever, but super excited.
So did you have male teachers in school?
In high school, I did. In college, I did as well. And I'd say they all of them were very impactful on me for good or bad reasons. Not every teacher is going to be the best, but I'd say I've had the vast majority of my teachers in high school and college have been very beneficial for my leadership development, my academic development, my personal development. I still talk to some of my high school teachers to this day, and I definitely plan on keeping in touch with some of my college professors here at VMI, especially Colonel Gray. I mean, as previously mentioned,
Well, he's very passionate, loves to teach. You cannot keep him out of a classroom, and he loves. So you probably had a history class with him.
I have him this semester, actually. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
For history, American Way of War from post-Cold War era and on.
Anything else you'd like to share about your leadership experiences here at VMI?
Again, I would just say go for everything that comes your way. I mean, you never know what opportunity is going to hit you in the face at the last second when you're not expecting it. I'd also say that if you apply for something and you get a lesser position than what you want, I would say don't take that as an insult. Take that as an opportunity to prove yourself and then maybe move your way up. Like that's happened to me multiple times throughout my cadetship. I've applied or have tried out for multiple different things. And didn't get the exact position I want at the time. But instead of taking that as an insult, I took it as an opportunity to prove myself and to prove my worth. And eventually, both times that happened, I was able to be moved up into the position that I originally wanted. And it's just been a great experience. So I would definitely say just put your head down, keep going forward, and again, just put yourself out there every chance you get.
Just be undaunted. Right,
Yes,
just
ma'am,
not
exactly.
just not discouraged at all. Favorite book since you're an English major? Do you have a favorite book?
I'd say
or author?
Top 3 would be Starship Troopers by Robert A. Heinlein. Love that book. Frankenstein, Mary Shelley. I just read it over the first semester for the second time for a class. It was awesome. And this is not a book. It's a short story. Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. I love it's classic American romanticism, unreliable narrator type short story, and it's a huge fan of it. So.
Okay. Nothing in the leadership realm?
In the leadership? I mean, I would say Starship Troopers is very much so leadership.
Yeah, true.
Whether it be sci-fi or not, you can judge me however much you want, but I'd say Starship
I'm not
Troopers
opposed to
is a great book.
sci-fi. I started reading Andy Weir's Project Hail Mary.
Oh, nice.
And I read
That's awesome.
The Martian and loved The Martian. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. And I cannot wait to see Project Hail Mary. Have you heard of that?
In theaters, I have. With Ryan Gosling.
Did you see the movie?
I haven't seen it yet. Not yet. I need to.
It's
I need
playing
to
here
this
in
summer.
town. Oh, it's actually at the drive-in theater.
Oh, nice.
There you go. That with Michael. The Michael Jackson story, which, of course, people of a certain age, we did enjoy the movie because it was the music of our generation. But yes. Any final parting words?
No, ma'am. I'm all good.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here on the VMI Leader Journey podcast. We wish you much luck and fortitude being a high school teacher with 16 and 17-year-olds because that's good. Do you have younger siblings?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a new experience because it'll be like having younger siblings all around you all day long.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. And thank you again.
Of course. Thank you.
This has been a strategic outreach program of the VMI Center for Leadership and Ethics. We educate, engage, and inspire the leadership journey of our VMI community and the nation. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast to follow along as we release new episodes. Follow the VMI Center for Leadership and Ethics on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to learn more about our programs and events, or visit our website at vmi.edu/CLE. Thanks for tuning in.